So I'm on my way to Columbia, and never been so nervous, scared about a trip in my life. If you listen to my podcast, I had a guy on named David Boyle a while ago who came on and talked about his experience. He went to Peru for some ayahuasca ceremonies, and I'm on my way to Columbia right now to do the same. I'm going to teach you on this trip. I'm going to teach you what ayahuasca is, and I'm going to try to share as much as I can. Not sure how much I'll be able to film when I'm doing some of this stuff. Probably not very much, but I'll certainly try to keep all these stories going and let you know what this is like. I know there's a lot of people that are really curious about ayahuasca and what it does and how it works and the benefits. So I'm pretty nervous but pretty excited all at the same time, and never done anything in my life that scares me this much. Let's go. Hey guys, so in Columbia now. I'm at the wonderful home of Sean and Abigail Chester here, and so we got in pretty early this morning. We flew to Bogota yesterday and flew in here this morning. Today was a really interesting day. So Sean talked to us about what we can expect for the week, and it's not what I expected. I haven't even experienced it yet, and I'm already really surprised by a whole bunch of things. So I sort of had it in my head that doing ayahuasca was gonna, like, one of the things I want to do is I want to kind of get rid of some darkness in my life, and some of the things that have been holding me back, some of the just dark energy and things like that. And for whatever reason, I had it in my head that what I'd be doing is I'd be fighting it, and that's not at all what I'm going to be doing. I thought I'd be like ready for battle in the medicine and fighting off some of these, whatever these dark forces are that sometimes can screw up our lives. And so I was really, really intrigued to fight those. I was excited for a fight, like I wanted to do it, but that's not at all what's going to happen. Sean said there's no fighting. You don't fight. You observe, and you let Aya do the work, and you sit there. And so it's just very different from anything else I've done in this sort of space. So I'm really, really excited to observe. When I was going through some hard times early on in my divorce, the best advice that I was given was from one of my mentors, this guy named Joey, who told me to just sit in the pain, let it wash over you, sit in the fire. I'll never forget, it was one of the most impactful conversations I've ever had. He said, just sit in the pain, sit in it, and don't hide from it. Face the fire, it's not going to kill you, and just sit in it till it's gone. And don't do anything to take away from that pain, because if you do, if you do something to get out of it, then you got to wait for the pain to find you again, and that could take a while. So it's the same thing with this, at least the way Sean described it to me, is I'm going to be sitting in whatever I'm going through and observing it and feeling it. And so I'm changing my strategy up, obviously. Anytime you do work like this, there's a very strong element of surrendering to all of it. And so I'm excited to do that without a fight. Doesn't mean it's going to be easy. I'm sure I'm going to be feeling some things that are quite challenging, but I'm really, really glad we had that talk, because I probably wouldn't have gotten what I wanted to out of the first ceremony had I come in ready for a fight. So yeah, I'm excited. This place, you guys, is spectacular. I grabbed this little mic here because I'm not sure if you can hear, but there's a river just right down there, and it's just roaring. We got a lot of rain here, so the river's really high right now, and it's just flying. I've got monkeys right at the end of my bed. They're hanging out up there. I sent some videos to my kids, and we were debating whether or not I should try to catch one and take it home. You have a pet monkey, but I don't think that's going to work. They asked me, my kids were curious if these were talking monkeys like in those Planet of the Apes movies. From what I've seen so far, none of these monkeys talk. I don't think they ride horses or anything like that either. So I think they're just like run-of-the-mill monkeys, which is probably for the best. I'm not sure I trust those monkeys that talk, to be honest, so that's good. We also explored some other medicine today. Started with some tobacco ceremonies. We start with this. It's like this tobacco paste, and you sort of put it on your tongue, and then you take this powder called mambe, and mambe is ground up coca leaves, like the same stuff they make cocaine out of, but there's no, like, it's not addictive. It's not anything like cocaine, but it's like, it's in it. And so it's this dry powder, and everybody did it. And when I did it, I did the one thing he told me not to do, which was breathe in. So instead of like kind of having it sit in my cheek and just letting it kind of marinate for a while, I took the tiniest little inhale in at the wrong time, and I coughed and it burned and wasn't wasn't my favorite thing to do. I'm guessing everybody else liked it, so they didn't inhale the powder, which seemed to have been good advice to follow. I wish I wouldn't have screwed that up, because I couldn't really go back for a second shot. It was just my throat was burning too much. But then we did a couple other things later. We did a rape ceremony, followed by these eye drops, and oh man, I forget the name of it. I'll post it here so you guys can see the name of it, but I forget the name of it. But rape is a ceremony where you take really, really finely ground tobacco, and they blow it up your nose, and it's sort of like snorting wasabi, I would say, in terms of how much it burns. It's a really, really interesting experience. You feel it head to toe, and you try to let it sit in your nose for as long as possible, and then you just sort of let it do its work. And man, that's like, you start feeling things in your body that it's not necessarily all that pleasurable when you're doing it, but man, does it ever feel good when you're done. And then you go straight from that, and you lay down in a hammock, and he puts these drops in, and I'm sorry, I forget the name of it, but these drops, they burn like you wouldn't believe. Sorry if this doesn't sound very fun, because everything that I'm talking about here is actually not very fun when you're doing it, but as soon as it's over, it's like, oh my God, do you ever feel good? So I sort of equate it to, when you go to the gym, and like my trainer at the gym, he just loves kicking the shit out of me from time to time. He doesn't do it every time, but every once in a while he kicks the shit out of me, and I hate every second of it while we're doing it. Like, he's just beating the crap out of me, and I hate it all until it's done, and then it's like by far the best workout. It's sort of like that. So with these things, they put these drops in your eye, and then you sort of move your eye around, and it burns like you wouldn't believe, but only for like a little bit, like maybe like 30 seconds. And then when it's gone, you feel like so freaking good. Can't describe it, but as soon as the pain is gone, it's gone. There's no residual effect. Like, look at my eyes, like they're, it's not like they're red or watery or whatever. It feels really good. Sorry, I'm distracted. There's some monkeys right over there. They might actually be talking monkeys now that I think about it. I think they might be the talking kind. We'll find out. Stay tuned for that one. Anyway, so yeah, like, I knew that this wasn't going to be a pleasure cruise, but I also knew that all of the rewards were going to be, well worth all of the effort. And I'm now 100% convinced of that. We're in such good hands. Sean and Abigail are amazing. Sean's just this mountain of a man, and there is wisdom. There's wisdom in that man's soul that I'm really excited to learn from. He told me a bunch of things today that really blew my mind. I hope I get the chance to chat with him at some point on the trip and post it for you guys, because I think he'd be way better served hearing it directly from him than having me sort of regurgitate what he said. But yeah, day one in Columbia at Sean and Abigail's house, and I'm already really glad I came, and I have my intention set for the week. I know exactly what I'm trying to do. Been praying a lot, really feeling that connection to God and Spirit grow, and yeah. So stay tuned. We're in for a fun ride. Hey guys, this is the day 2 and 3 update from Columbia. If you listened to or saw my previous posts, I'm here to do ayahuasca with some pretty extraordinary people, and so I'm just kind of journaling it. Almost using this like a little bit of a video diary, but I've got a number of people who've told me they're really curious about this, so I'm going to try to share as much as I can put into words, if that makes sense. I mean, I'm an open book, so it's not that I'm holding anything back. It's just some things are easier to describe than others, but I'll do my best. So yesterday was day 2 with Sean and Abigail Chester. And so we started our day, we went down to the river. There's a river like right behind me. And this mic is pretty good at drowning it out, but it's really loud. Like there's like you just hear it all the time. It's just this roar of the river. And it's maybe, I don't know, like 60 feet down from where I am. And so we went down the river and we had another rapé ceremony. So rapé, if you missed what I described on the first episode or the first story about this, rapé is a really finely ground tobacco that you have sort of blown into your nose, and it's really good for you. It burns like you wouldn't believe. Sort of the way I said it yesterday is it sort of feels like you're snorting wasabi. But you really feel great after, and it sort of cleans you all out, and it's just a really awesome way to kind of wake up and get rolling. So anyway, the day before was my first time ever with rapé, and it really hit me like a freight train. It burned, like it really burns. Like I say, it was like snorting wasabi. So this time I wanted to let it sit longer before I let it all out, because the longer you let it sit, the better that is. But so when I did it this time, I was asking my dad for help. My dad passed about 11 years ago, and I was just like, hey Dad, help me breathe through this. And I don't know why I picked my dad. Maybe it's because he smoked, from the time he was 12 till the day he died. But I called for him. After my dad died, this would have been like 11 years ago, my brother, my sister, my mom, and I all separately went and had some sessions with this really incredible medium from Saskatchewan named Jody Rollins. And I think she told my brother, or maybe I'm not sure, but anyway, she told one of us that when my dad wanted to present himself and let us know that he was here, he would send butterflies, and that's how we'd know that he was around. So anyway, I'm trying my best to breathe through this, and so you breathe through your mouth, obviously not through your nose, and you're just trying to take it in for as long as you can. And so I closed my eyes, and then I got calm when I asked my dad for help. And then when I opened my eyes, I opened them up, and 30 butterfly just came right out of the rocks, right in front of me. I was just like, what is happening right now? It was really cool. And if it was one butterfly, I'd be like, okay, big deal. But I kid you not, it was 30. and they all sort of just flew around right in front of me, and then they just went away. And so it was really cool to get a message from my dad saying, I'm here, I got you, I'm with you. And so anyway, so last night, it's our first ceremony with ayahuasca. And, it's really interesting. Like, ayahuasca is not the kind of thing where everybody who does it has the same experience. In fact, it's quite the opposite of that. It's everybody gets their own experience, and they get the experience, excuse me, they get the experience that they're supposed to have. The medicine has this intelligence to it where it somehow knows how to give you exactly what you need, and all you have to do is be open enough to accept it. The medicine will challenge you. It'll push you in ways that, maybe you wouldn't allow yourself to be pushed, but the medicine it'll do it. And so it's not necessarily always fun. There can be a lot of discomfort through this, but it all has a purpose, and there's a lesson in all of it. And so you just have to be humble and wise enough to surrender to it and let the medicine tell you what it wants to tell you. So my sister, Jana, who is awesome, one of her big goals for me is for some time in my life to learn patience. I think I'm more patient than she gives me credit for, but I could definitely use some practice in that. I guarantee you when she watches this, she'll be laughing right along beside me here. So patience. We show up there. What time was it, guys? Like 5 or 6 we get there? 5?
Yeah, 5 o'clock.
About 5 o'clock. So we get there at 5, and it's, so rode on motorbikes through these kind of funny little roads and trails, and then had a little bit of a hike down to the Maloka. And like, just really interesting. Like, you're in the middle of nowhere. Actually, this is one of the craziest things. So like, you are in the middle of no place, and you have full cell coverage. Like, I have better cell coverage here in the middle of nowhere than I do at my house in Canada. Hilarious. Anyway, so you hike down, and it's 5 o'clock. And we get there, and a little while later, the locals who help us with this, this man who's the Titan, I'm going to tell you all about it in a little bit. They sort of show up and shake our hands, and they're sort of getting set up, sort of like putting the hammocks up and getting it all ready. So this room is probably about 150 feet long, and they've got this gorgeous mural painted on the one wall. It's spectacular, and it's the faces of the men and women who live there. Really, really something to see. And the floor is a dirt floor, and then they've got these beams all throughout with this sort of open ceiling, open roof, and the hammocks sit. And then we just sort of sat around this little table and just sort of sat there and just had a visit. We'll talk about a lesson in patience. We weren't going to start the ceremony till 8. I've been thinking about this thing since May since I booked this trip. So, for 5 months, I've been just thinking nonstop, or 3 months, 4 months, whatever it is, nonstop about this day. And, sort of psych myself up, like, okay, we're going to do this. And then we're going to sit for 3 hours doing nothing. Which, anybody who knows me, my least favorite thing to do is nothing. It drives me crazy. So I got to sit there. But I didn't want to ruin anybody else's experience by being a squirrely little donkey. So, just sort of sat there and just waited. It almost, I said when we were there, I said, it feels like we're getting ready to play a big game, and we're sitting in the locker room waiting for it to start, and you're just sitting antsy, just ready to go. So, we all prepared sort of a summary of why we're here, and we read it to the Taita, who again I'll tell you about in a minute. Actually, I guess I should start with that. So the Taita is this shaman, this medicine man, a holy man. I've definitely never met anybody. You're fine. I've never met anybody like this. You meet him. He's not a very large man. Like he's, I don't know, maybe like 5'7", 5'8". He's 65 years old. Or 66 years old. He's got a 3-year-old daughter. He has been participating in ayahuasca ceremonies, drinking ayahuasca since he was an infant. His parents, his mom and dad lived till they were 120 and 119. They did ayahuasca their entire life. They drank ayahuasca their entire life, from like 3 months of age until they died. It's just a way that they do it. And like a couple times a week. This is what they do. They've been learning from this medicine their entire time on this earth, and so they have an understanding of it that is not normal. This is going to be one of the things that's going to be hard for me to describe. None of this is normal, but for them, it's Tuesday. Like for them, it's just Tuesday. For me, it's like, a life-changing day, and for them, it's Tuesday. So anyway, we all read. We all read why we're here. So we tell a little bit about ourselves, where we're from, anything else we want to say. And so we read it in English so he can sort of see how we say it. He's watching us. Like he's just sitting there, just watching. He doesn't speak English, by the way, but he's reading like our heart, I think, our mind. I don't know. And then, like just with like a Google Translate, I think it's his nephew. I'm not 100% sure on that. He reads it to the Taita so that he understands like the words that we're saying, all the specifics, and then he sort of nods and just sort of gives you like a, okay, I got you. And so then we sit and wait again, and go lay in your hammock and kill some time, and just lay there, waiting, and now like, it's 7:30, and I'm like, let's go. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go. But you don't tell this medicine when you're ready. Like, that's not how it works. So a little impatient, little Adam, trying to tell this medicine that's been around for thousands of years, when it's time, didn't exactly work like that. So I'm going to tell you some things that you're probably going to think are pretty dumb, pretty gross. Ignore the shitty parts of this story, please. If you focus on the parts that sound painful, that's all you're going to hear. So I'm not going to hide them. I'm not going to tell you the things that are uncomfortable, but I want you to understand that they don't matter. Okay, they're not. The discomfort portion of this is the least important part. Okay, it doesn't matter. You don't care about it when you're doing it. You don't care about it after. You're worried about it before, but like, this isn't the story. I'll tell you what the story is, okay? So, everybody takes their turn, and you go up and you drink ayahuasca, and it's not a very tasty drink. It doesn't taste very good. It's I'm gonna have Sean Chester on at some point this week. He's gonna tell you what the medicine is, how it works. I'm not going to butcher that. I want to make sure that you really understand what it is. Basically, it's the leaf of one plant and the root of another, and you blend them together and make this drink out of it. And if you take either the root or the vine separately, they don't do anything. But if you combine them, it's magic, like truly magic. So anyway, they call you up, and the Taita, he blesses the drink, and he blesses you, and he's getting all ready. By the way, symbol of the cross used the whole time. So I was really surprised by this. There's a Christian root to this, and I need to understand more about that. I'd be lying if I said I really understand it, but there are roots and hints of Christianity in this, which is, again, very surprising. I was not expecting that. I knew there's a connection to God. I didn't understand the connection to Christ. So you drink, and you go lay in your hammock, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you sit there, and you feel it percolating in your stomach. Nothing happened. Like, I felt sick. I felt like I needed to throw up, because that's what you have to do. Okay, so you have to get this medicine out of you after it sits there for a while. It forces you to purge, and this is not getting rid of lunch. This isn't like you're expelling the things from your body and your mind and your heart and your soul that don't belong there anymore. It's a cleansing. It's a purge. And so you sit there, and I sat there, and I just waited and waited and waited. And the other people that were doing this with me, I can hear them, like, they're purging, and I'm laying there, and I'm just like, I'm jealous. I'm like, listen to these guys just retch their guts out, and all I can think of is, oh man, I wish I was doing that. Again, don't focus on that part. It really doesn't matter, but I'm just sitting there, just waiting. And then my mind was wandering because I'm bored, right? Like, you're just sitting there. And by the way, like, I am completely sober. There's no impact on my mind at all. At least nothing that I could notice. Like, nothing. I got up and walked to the bathroom. I walked fine. Like, I had all my faculties. 0 out of 10 impact. 0. It was I might as well have just drank just normal tea, except for the fact that I really wanted to throw up. And so then, like, when would it have been? We started so at 11 o'clock, Sean comes around and he says, would you like a second cup? And I was the only one who, excuse me, I was the only one who didn't purge. And I'm just desperate to do it, but I'm thinking, well, if I have a second cup, I'm going to just puke it right up. Like, then it'll happen. The second I said, yes, I'm ready for a second cup, the second those words came out of me, instantly purged, like, and like deep, like guttural, like getting rid of like stuff, like deep stuff, all out. And it's like, oh my God, you feel great. So then straight for the second cup right after that. I actually don't know if I could have taken the second. I don't know if I could have physically done it without that purge. Like, I could have, but I don't know. So what was really interesting about it is the medicine, as I said, it has this intelligence to it. And I'm going to explain that more throughout, and I really hope I do a good enough job of articulating this, because to me, this is maybe the most fascinating part about what I learned yesterday, is that this medicine has intelligence. The variance between experiences is incredible. It's remarkable. So, go for the second cup. The medicine knew that it was going to stay in me for as long as it could until it had to go. The second I verbalized, I'm ready for a second cup, boom, gone. Go for a second cup. Well, now it's kind of go time. Oh, wait, during the first cup, I meant to tell you this. So during the first cup, because I'm bored and I'm sitting there, my mind started to wander to back home. The problems I have back home, the conflicts, the things I'm working on, like many of the reasons that I'm here, just stuff that isn't working in my life for whatever reason. And I can't help but think of it. And I was getting really mad at myself. I was like, Adam, quit being dumb. Like, that's not why you're here. You're here to, like, you're not here to think about that. You're here to connect to God and do this, and you're not letting that happen. And I was really annoyed with myself. So I was impatient and annoyed. Good combo. And frustrated. And at one point, like, I'm sitting there, I'm sitting on the edge of my hammock, and I started laughing, and I was just like, I said these words, like, what the fuck am I doing here? Like, what am I doing? Am I nuts? Like, why did I do that? What am I doing here? So anyway, second cup, fast forward. So I do the second cup, drink the second cup, and buckle up. Second cup was a very, very different experience. So those thoughts that I had about all my problems back home, now I'm not able to ignore them. It was like I had two brains at once. So the first brain was there to organize my thoughts and just sort of put them together, and then the second brain was there to figure out what to do with them. So it was the neatest thing, you guys. I had, like, all the conflicts in my life, all the challenges and problems that I'm having right now, they were like stacked in a row right in front of me. Like they were like organized like icons on Netflix or something. Like, it was bizarre. And so I sat there and I'm looking at these issues, and with every one of these issues, by the way, I've been a victim, and I hate being a victim, but I've been acting like a victim about these things and acting like I don't have any control in them because I didn't know what to do with them. Like, I really didn't know what to do. So I sat there and I look at these things and I go, okay, what's the common denominator here? Like, what about these problems? What's the common denominator? And it was clear as a bell. The common denominator was me. I'm the problem. So it'd be very easy, and believe me, I was really good at blaming everybody else for these problems, and anybody who heard it would go, oh man, is that ever tough? That all happened to you, blah, blah, blah. Well, yeah, but I'm the problem, right? Like, I'm supposed to be the leader of my family and my business, and I wasn't being a leader with any of it. I was failing in all those aspects. And as a result, all these people that count on me for guidance and leadership, my kids, my girlfriend, my team at work, all this stuff, they weren't getting anything good from me. If anything, they were getting pretty wimpy victim, bit of a loser's mentality. And so as soon as I faced it, and like when I say face it, it like, boom, like it puts it like right in your face. Like there's no denying it. So then I figured out, okay, this is what I'm working on. Like this is what the medicine wants me to do. It's clear as a bell. So, excuse me, sorry. So then I went one by one with these problems, and I started to solve them. And it was all about taking true ownership of my role in every one of them. And then I learned this thing, and forgive me if you already know about this, but I learned this thing called recycling and pre-cycling at a personal development course a number of years ago called the Hoffman Institute. So what recycling is you think back to a challenging conversation you've had or a conflict or whatever, and then you recycle it in your brain, and you try taking a different approach to that problem until you solve it, and you just keep doing it over and over. But you can also do something called pre-cycling, and pre-cycling is you rehearse a conversation in the future, something that you're worried about. You're having a conversation with your spouse or your boss or your employee, or like those difficult ones, and you replay it over and over in your head until you solve it. And because you know how people are going to react, and so you just sort of rehearse it until you get it, and then when you actually go and have the conversation, it generally goes in a pretty good way because you've thought about it from every different angle. Well, that's what I did in the medicine. So I took every single problem and I pre-cycled them and recycled them, and completely refigured every conversation until they worked. So when I get home, I can't wait. I'm going to have some really great conversations about resetting expectations, and both ways, mine too, with the most important people in my life. Because the way I'm doing it now isn't working. And the people who count on me, if I'm not working the right way with them, then they're not going to get out of me what they want. And if I'm not owning it, how can they? Right? Like, I'm supposed to be the leader of this family. And so that's what I did. And one by one, step by step, systematically, boom, 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 I solved every problem. Problems that 5 days ago I thought were impossible. Like I thought I was caught between a rock and a hard place with every one of these, and I'm not. I just have to own them differently and be brave enough to go, we're doing this a different way. I did not do this right. Neither did you. We're going to fix it right now. We're resetting all of it. And then I played the result of every conversation, and every one of them worked, like to a T. Like when I get home, I've got a lot of conversations I'm going to have, and they're all going to work. They're all going to be perfect. I know it. Like they're perfect. And I'm going to be challenging some people that I love to do things in a different way, and that's going to create some discomfort. But there's so much love in it that there's not a doubt in my mind that every one of them is going to embrace it and love every second of it, because they know that they're going to get a better version of me. The medicine taught me this. It taught me all of it. And while I was going through it, it was like I had my own personal assistant organizing the next thing. So like it was like I had two things going on in my head, but like when I say focused, I mean like laser focused. No ego, no fear, let's go. Like boom, like laser, pinpoint accuracy with each of these. But while I'd be focusing on one problem, it was like my little personal assistant, like my second brain was getting the next one ready for me, organizing it, getting it prepared for me. And I could see them. It was almost like they were booking the next meeting for me, getting it all ready, getting it organized. So I'd go and attack this one, and the next one would be, okay, it would be there, and then it would be organized, and I would deal with that. And like, wow. And I was just like ready, like I wanted to just have the conversations right. I almost wish I could have the conversations with all those people right in the medicine, because I'm going home till the 17th. But this stuff isn't leaving. Like I've got it, all of it. It's really, really awesome. What a gift. What a gift. So I went from feeling completely helpless, a helpless victim, to having no fear of owning any of this in one night. Something really funny happened in the medicine. So, and this is going to be kind of a little bit gross, but so you're not supposed to fart when you drink ayahuasca, because like you just don't know what's going to come out. So, like Sean said, like you do not trust an ayahuasca fart. But I tried to poop like 3 or 4 times, nothing was working, and so I was farting like crazy. So in my hammock, the taita was probably 75 feet away from me, and I ripped this fart that was so loud. Like this was like probably 4.1 on the Richter scale. Like it was a doozy. And so I started, like I rolled over and then just let this thing out, and then I hear this giggle in the corner, and it was the taita, and he starts giggling like a child, like he's giggling like a little kid. And then the other Columbians started laughing, and then they're all like hysterically laughing. Like I don't mean like a little bit laughing. Like you remember when you're a kid and you'd be at like a sleepover with your friends and you get the giggles and you couldn't stop no matter what? It was like that for 5 minutes. All these like the taita might be the wisest man I've ever been in contact with. And not might be, like without question. Like he's the wisest human I've ever met. And he sat and giggled like a child for 5 minutes straight because I farted. And so I'm sitting in my hammock and I'm laughing, like I'm trying not to distract him, but I'm laughing and laughing and laughing. And all I thought was, my grandpa Ray, he thought farts were the funniest thing in the world. and I just thought, it's really good that farts are funny in any language, because they're hilarious. So anyway, that was really funny. Again, not what I was expecting. So anyway, that was the big download. And so then they have these 3 young men who they all play the guitar and they've got some drums and stuff. And as people are coming out of the medicine, they start playing music, and it's like the best concert you've ever seen. Like they're just sitting around kind of in this little circle and they're just playing these songs. And so I was like, get me out of this hammock. Like I want to sit and listen to this. So I was the first one up, and I'm looking for a chair, and then Sean comes over. He's like, hey dude, like what do you need? And I was like, can I sit with you? He's like, yes, absolutely, love it. He's like, let me get you a chair. So I was a little disoriented, brings a chair over, sits down, and then like a minute later, he put the chair kind of near the circle and near him. And then he leans over and he goes, can you move back about a foot, please? And I said, okay. And I, like in my head, I'm like, what the hell, man? Like you put the chair here, why are we moving it? And then, so I move it back, and then like another 30 seconds later, he said, can you move it back a little further? And I said, why? And he goes, because you're pulsing. Your energy is pulsing and it's hitting people. You need to give them space. And he said that like my energy was just like, and so there's nobody within like 3 feet of me, and it was still hitting them, like this energy. And then when he said it, like I didn't notice it until he said it, and then I could feel it. This like, it's like a pulse, like this. I don't know. It's all I could say, like this energetic pulse. Extraordinary, like such an extraordinary night. Oh, sorry. Once on the second cup, I didn't feel sick at all. Like there wasn't one point. I wasn't queasy, nothing. Like I was clean, not a bit. Once I got to the 6th problem and solved it, that was the last one of the little Netflix scoreboard up there. Once I got to number 6, with no notice, like zero. I didn't even feel sick. I didn't feel it coming. As soon as I solved the 6th one, it was, oh boy, and like massive purge again. Like, okay, we're done with this. Like, gone. With no notice. Whereas like the first one, like I was, sick for like 3 hours, like just waiting. Nothing would happen. I thought I was coming here to connect with God, and that may very well happen. I'd be surprised if it didn't, because there are so many different experiences you can have in this medicine. But God and the medicine said, we're not ready for that yet. You have some stuff you got to do. You got to get your house in order. You can't go dancing with God and think all your problems are going to go away. You have work to do. You got to make your bed. You got to get everything ready. And so that's what I did. So when I go home, like I have my marching orders. I know exactly what to do. Like, exactly. I know exactly how to solve this stuff. And I'm really curious to see what happens next. I'm very reluctant now to put my expectations on what the next ceremony is going to be like, because I think it would be awfully arrogant of me, after being arrogant the first time and thinking that I knew what was going to happen, and then being so wrong about all of it. I'm really excited to see what's next. Really excited. I think I'm going to stop my story here for today. Today is day 3, and it's a rest day, so we're just kind of chilling out, hanging out. The people I'm with, so there's 6 of us doing this, and they're all just awesome. They're all so unique, really different people, all coming here for different reasons, all having a totally different experience. Like my experience was my experience. Nobody had the experience I had, and everybody had their own. It was all very, very unique. So excited to see what's next, and God, am I grateful. Sean, at one point, Sean just, he was just standing there, and I said, get over here. And I just gave him this big hug, and he hugged me back, and it was like I could feel how much he believed in me, and how good that felt. I felt so validated and understood and not confused anymore. What a gift. So anyway, with that, I'm going to leave it. if you like this stuff and you think there's other people who would be interested in it, please share. Please send it to your friends. I know this is long. We're 33 minutes here, but I'd be really grateful if you share. I have a mission to teach people about different ways to grow and heal, because I think the world needs it. And if I can touch a couple people, it'd be a real honor to help set them on a path or whatever happens from it. So if you think this would resonate with people, I'd be incredibly honored if you shared it. And if you don't, that's okay too. There's certainly no pressure or expectation. But if you did, my gratitude would be even higher. So anyway, thanks guys. Have a great day. Talk soon.